Well, the investigation into who killed 6 redheaded women across the South in the mid-1980s is taking a major step forward. The TBI announced yesterday that agents identified a victim who was found along I-75 in Campbell County in 1985. Her name is Tina Marie McKinney Farmer. 10 News reporter Grant Robinson spoke with investigators, and they say this ID could be a turning point to bring the killer to justice.
January 1st, 1985, the body of a young redhead woman was found strangled and dumped in Campbell County. It was the 3rd victim in 2 years. In the next 4 months, 3 more victims would be found near interstates in Cheatham County, Knox County, Kentucky, and Greene County.
I think it's a very strong possibility these cases are connected.
For more than 30 years, 5 of the 6 victims were nameless. Todd Matthews works with the National Missing and Unidentified Persons System, or NamUs. He works to find their identities.
Well, once you have an ID, you know a lot about that person.
Now that investigators know the Campbell County victim is Tina Farmer, Matthews says investigators can piece together more of the puzzle.
We know who their family is, we know who they were connected to, we have so much more information, so that possibly could reveal somebody that could have been the killer. So a homicide investigation is now hot.
In addition to Farmer, Matthews says there's also a tentative ID for the Knox County, Kentucky victim. In June, a woman who believes the victim is her mother met with several people involved in the case. She submitted DNA, but it's been 10 months and there are still no results.
We're waiting for FBI and the DNA analysis. It'll be just one day and it'll happen and we'll know the answer.
More than 3 decades after the murders, Matthews believes the victims will have justice. First, by giving them back their name, then finding their killer.
It's important to keep looking because somebody out there is waiting for answers.
Grant Robinson, 10 News.
And if you have any information on any of these cases, the TBI wants your help. You can leave a tip at 1-800-TBI-FIND.